Is GameStop the next Blockbuster? Well, let's just freeze for 1 second before I get into the details. Let me ask you, Will. Stop looking at your screen. I just want you to read the actual evidence here or whatever the state. I mean, this guy, Anders Byland, who's writing for the Motley Fool, he could either say, I mean, you read the headline, but he could either say, no, actually, they're not. And here's why. Or he could say, absolutely, they're dead. They are Blockbuster. What do you think he says? Yeah, it can go either way. What do you think he says? And how do you feel personally as a man?
I try to be optimistic. I think this Anders guy is optimistic. We talked about this. The whole GameStop is like renovating with like new features. I think they could stick around.
Yeah, no, Anders says they're dead. Other people are trying to make the case. There's some suggestions as to how, but he's looking at the financials and he contrasted them against where Blockbuster was, I think, in 2010, which was like the moment it all busted and broke down, and they're looking shockingly similar. When Blockbuster began to take its big downturn, its revenue had slipped from the previous year around 14%. Revenue at GameStop fell 25% year over year this year, so one quarter of their business. They also went from 7,100 locations to 5,600 stores in the same period. So just looking at the numbers, they are in a steeper decline, I suppose you could say, than Blockbuster was that moment where they got wiped out. GameStop isn't as in debt as Blockbuster was at the moment that took place. So Blockbuster's death may have been expedited by the fact that they owed around $900 million as the entire business was declining. GameStop, on the other hand, has a little bit of cash sitting around $300 million. So they might be able to hold this off a little bit longer. Also, you have the console cycle of release. And of course, the console cycle is a big deal for GameStop. It's an opportunity for them to get people back in the store or on the website. The holiday season, also very important. This is going to be a key indicator. What we're sitting in right now. I saw some advertising on TV for GameStop. They're making a push. They're trying to get moms in there.
Oh, okay.
At the mall, that's rough, man. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now trying to reimagine what you are, because it appears the numbers seem to indicate, but also just as the kind of evidence that's floating around on the web and the general sentiment, this isn't how gamers are behaving. I want to know, actually, I want to ask the gamers in the audience, even for the upcoming consoles, let's say we just heard more about the upcoming Xbox recently. Are you going to go into a GameStop and pre-order? Or are you just going to order the thing on Amazon like everyone else? Or are you going to pick it up at Walmart? Like, part of the problem here is you can get this stuff all over the place now.
It's digital, too.
And then all the games are digital. Yeah. So I don't see a definitive path for them, a way to quickly turn it around. And you have these almost 6,000 stores that still exist right now. The problem is, and I've thought about this, because obviously there have been suggestions for how they can turn it around, rebrand themselves, change what those stores are. We even showed a clip on this show at one point of a completely redesigned GameStop and how that can look, because they wanted to put some attention into the idea of hosting gaming competitions and things like this. But the problem is that the actual physical, the scale of the store, the design of the store, the locations of the stores are set up around the idea of buying some games and some consoles. They're not great event spaces. Have you been into a GameStop? It's dark, and it's in the corner of the plaza. It just was a spot to pick up a game. So as an event venue, it's a really makeshift event venue, whether it's for old school games or game competitions. Maybe they make a partnership with some competitive gaming teams or something, but it still doesn't fit that profile very well. Another suggestion has been for them to create their own products, GameStop specific products that you only buy there. I don't know what those GameStop cables, charge cables, GameStop collabs.
Controllers.
How about that? How about GameStop collab? You collab with Microsoft on a only at GameStop combo deal
Exclusive.
for an upcoming console that people really want with some special things that are included. Stuff like that would make sense for me, but I still feel like it's minor considering the amount of turnaround that's necessary. They use the example, if you scroll down a little further, by the way, this is some cool reading on the Motley Fool. There's another article below there where they talk about some of these other examples. Dick's Sporting Goods is a place they use as an example of a place that really changed a big part of their business. They got out of gun sales completely at Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know if you knew that. And they replaced it with things like batting cages and real life experiences.
Really?
That's genius. Go down, use the batting cage, maybe pick up some sports equipment, but sort of turn it into an amusement thing. That's, I think, the mindset that GameStop is in, but the spaces are too small.
Yeah.
You can't do it well. So it's almost like they have to close more locations and consolidate in the cities they're in to do bigger experiential locations. I know
Yeah.
Best Buy has also experimented in the same space. If you could have bigger, maybe VR stuff to try,
Maybe like a tournament.
VR, AR.
Like game tournaments.
The tournament thing I'm skeptical on because they're huge. You need big venues for that.
Oh, I mean like local, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be tougher. I think people are still going to want to try out the latest stuff, but you're going to need a totally different premises layout. So maybe you chop them all the way in half and you lease out the store next to them. You expand the ones that you have. I don't know. Don't do this. Don't take my advice. I don't know. I don't want you spending more cash if it's just going to expedite the death. I do not know what you do. I don't think people are ever going to buy games like they used to buy games. So it might be just be a Blockbuster situation. Take whatever cash you got and get out. I don't know. Maybe that's the better advice.
A lot of fond memories though.
Fond memories are going to be there. Yeah. They're going to be there. How do they do it, man? Maybe they just go strictly online and try to be competitive there. I don't know, man. Then you're up against Amazon. You're already up against Amazon. What can you do? What can you really do, Will?